Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are going to discuss the play titled A Dream Play, written by Johann August Stindberg. And he was born in 1849, died in 1912. He was a Swedish playwright and novelist, poet, essayist, and painter. And many of his works are autobiographical in nature. He has written more than 60 plays and more than 30 works of fiction, and is considered as the father of modern Swedish literature. And his work, The Red Room, published in 1879, has frequently been considered as the first modern Swedish novel. Okay, and the work that we're going to discuss today is a dream play. It's an expressionist play, and it's written in 1901 and first performed in 1907. And we call it an expressionist play. What's an expressionism? It's a reaction against realism, and usually you can see an exploration of mind in expressionist play. And expressionist play is often very difficult to understand, very much confusing, because they're trying to explore the mind, and often they'll try to distort the reality. And and this can also be considered as one of the forerunners or precursor to dramatic surrealism. Okay, because we have got kind of uh, mixing up of realism and a dream, these sorts of things, and also can be considered as an absurdist play, because we have got a non-linear narrative structure in this play, and sometimes the characters speak in riddles and metaphors. It's very difficult to understand for the audience, and also it kind of the play is trying to blur the boundaries between reality and dream, and and sometimes the characters speak uh, to the audience also, and this play is also trying to uh, you know find or kind of the play is trying to analyze the meaning of life also, and so we have got um, existential theme as well in this play. And basically the play focuses on Agnes, the daughter of the Vedic god Indra, and she descends to earth to look in the problems of the ordinary human beings on the earth, and during this play she meets about 40 characters. We call it about 40 characters, so plenty of characters in this play, and but the play focuses mainly on a few characters. It's very difficult to go through all the characters, to mention all the characters, very difficult. And as I said, and the play itself is a very much complex. So is the character, or so are the characters. And maybe we can call the play explores the themes of human unhappiness and the meaninglessness of life and materialism, class struggle, and the paradox of human existence. And some critics say that this play has been influenced by Steinberg's mental state, because when he was writing this play, he was recovering from a kind of psychic episode, and he himself has described it as among his most personal works. Okay, let's get into the summary. I'll just give you a short summary. It's very difficult, as I said, to uh, summarize this play, because the play doesn't have any plot. Okay, no story in this play. There are many fragmented scenes, like in the dream. Okay, that's why this is a dream play. Okay, the title itself is a dream play. The dream play because usually we have images in dreams, images in fragmented manner. So is the play. Okay, so very difficult to summarize because no story. Agnes, okay, the main character, okay, and the daughter of Indra, according to Indian mythology or um, you know the Vedas. And Agnes is the daughter of Indra, another god, and she descends or she comes down to earth, and she's in the form of a lovely woman. And why she came? She wants to investigate the cause of people's dissatisfaction with their lot or their life, and maybe we can call her path is meant to parallel the life of Jesus as she goes through the suffering that comes with being a human being. Okay, maybe it kind of similar to her arrival to earth can be compared to the kind of arrival of Jesus Christ. Okay, and she's kind of suffering for the human beings, not exactly like Jesus Christ, but kind of compare. And she starts of believing that love and humanity would triumph over all, but her experiences make her less optimistic. And in the beginning, she is thinking that love can conquer everything. And she is meeting several characters and she is trying to convey this to them, but eventually she is convinced that's not going to possible. Okay. And all the characters are in some sort of despair. Nobody's happy, we can see in this play. And the play features over 40 characters, as I said, and but the main focus is on three of them, three men, and they are an officer, name is not mentioned, a lawyer, again name is not mentioned, then there's a poet, and then some other characters in this play includes, you can see the glazier, the father, the mother. Okay, nobody's name is, but some characters' names are mentioned there. But most of the characters are like this: father, mother, child, wife, husband, young man, old man, master of quarantine, and teacher, blind, medicine, theology, philosophy. All these are also characters. Okay, and medicine represents science, theology, religion, philosophy. Yeah, philosophy itself. And okay, the officer, the first character actually to come, and the first important character, and he's a senior military officer and trainer. He's the first person to show up, and despite being the narrative as a youthful, enthusiastic soldier who takes great pride in his work, he soon ages into an elderly guy who never settles down with a woman and spends his entire life waiting for his ideal lover, opera singer Victoria. Okay, and in the beginning he's a kind of young, but soon we realizes that there is a an elderly person and around 50, and he's waiting for a lover, okay, a singer, an opera singer, Victoria, and his love is never returned. Okay, he is always waiting for her and she never appears, and that's his life. Okay, and he's always kind of singing a song with her name like Victoria, and he's a sort of mad person, and he's full of self pity, you can see here, and sees himself as a victim of a repetitive life. He says this many times in this play. Victims of a repetitive life. These are the things you can see in absurd plays also, right? And so the life doesn't give him what he wants. He's a very sad person, and he believes that romantic love will cure all his problem, but it's never going to happen. Okay, and he meets the daughter of the god. Actually, the Agnes is also in this play in the book. You can see. It's written as the daughter. Okay, her name is also not there. So and the daughter or the Agnes, he meets Agnes, and while she is in the role of a maid, and takes her to Fairhaven. So this is a place mentioned in this play. Fairhaven is a place, and this person, uh, this officer, he's trying to go to this Fairhaven, and he says that's a very beautiful place, and he's taking the this daughter Agnes also to this place, Fairhaven. It's a romantic paradise, and but he cannot reach there. Okay, however, along the way he is detained and uh, winds up in Foul Strand. Foul Strand is in another place. It's a terrible place. Maybe it resembles hell. Okay, so we have all the three places there in this play. This Fairhaven can be like heaven itself. Okay, and this Foul Strand can be hell, and the place all the characters are there in the play is uh, we can call Earth. Okay, or mm, yeah, paradise or something. And the officer serves as a symbol of authority and the military, and he represents the idea of discipline and obedience, as well as the idea of sacrifice and duty, and he is willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. And he represents the idea that people are willing to give up their own personal desires and needs for the sake of something greater, whether it uh, or be their country, uh, their family, or their belief, etc. The officer and Victoria's relationship in the play serves to explore the theme of love and sacrifice, and the officer is willing to sacrifice his own happiness for the sake of uh, duty and Victoria, and it represents the idea of a longing for love, but also the idea that love can be unrequited. It's not easy to acquire love, and their relationship serves as a reminder that love is not always easy, and that people often have to make sacrifices in order to find it. Okay, this is the idea maybe the play is trying to convey through these characters, Victoria and this officer. And the second major character is the lawyer, and who is portrayed as a rational and logic figure, and he is using his reason and logic to defend his clients in the court. And he is kind of representing the idea that legal system is based on reason and logic, and that people are held accountable for their actions through a fair and just legal process. And the lawyer is also a symbol of the power of words and the ability to manipulate the truth. Okay, and he is a reminder that the truth is not always clear and can be interpreted in different ways. And it's also an important theme in the play, as it explores the idea that reality is not always what it seems. Okay, and that people's perception of the world can be distorted by their own bias and belief. Okay, and then in addition, the lawyer serves as a representation of the human tendency to justify their actions and try to find excuses for their wrongdoings, as well as the idea that people can use systems to their advantage. So all these things can be understood, okay, from this character. And the lawyer meets the daughter Agnes and becomes very close to her, and even they eventually marry. And because they are talking about love, and Agnes the daughter believes love is the only beautiful thing here on the earth. Okay, and so that's why they decide to marry, especially the daughter. She wants to experience the same thing. Okay, and so they do marry, and at least temporarily. Then he enlightens her and on the awful nature of, and he teaches her many things. The awful nature of poverty and the conflicts of family life, everything. And even though when they have a child together, he's unfailingly devoted to his family despite his difficult life. So maybe he's a sort of a good person. And the final major character is the poet, and he's kind of an outcast person because of his behavior, bizarre behavior. Usually, this is how poets are treated. Maybe in our society also, they are kind of considered as outcast, and they are lonely. Okay, and in the beginning, we see him as bathing in the mud, and maybe he wants to come down from his uh, lofty or poetic thought, and he wants to experience the difficulty or the complexity of life. And when he is caked in mud, he is protected from the flies surrounding him, and he's a person who always maintains a certain level of idealism and believing that life's injustices and hypocrisies are in the fault of humanity, but rather of the God, and is complaining God even in the presence of Agnes. Okay, and we can see those people around him tend to lose hope and abandon their faith, but the poet believes that humanity's redemption will only come through suffering and death. And the poet is portrayed as a very sensitive and introspective figure who is able to see and express the deeper truth and complexities of life through his art. He represents the idea that art has the power to reveal the beauty and meaning in the world, as well as the pain and suffering. And the poet also serves as a representation of the idea of the artist as an outsider, usually in the society, as I said. And the poet is often seen as a figure that is detached from the world and that's able to see things from a different perspective. This idea is also related to the theme of the play, which is the idea of the dreamer and how the dreamer is detached from reality and able to see the world in a different way. And the play ends with Agnes realizing that humanity must be looked upon with compassion, and she realizes that humanity may harbor spiritual hopes, but they will always be held back by human existence. As she finally ascends back up to heaven, she, you can see, throwing her shoes into the fire to leave her human existence, okay, behind. And she's not taking anything with her, which is some way or the other related to humans. And so now let's just go through some of the themes. And one is the nature of dreams and reality. Okay, the title itself very explicitly suggests that uh, it's a dream play and kind of setting the tone for the exploration of the blurred lines between reality and dream throughout the play. And that's what the author is trying to say. He's trying to blur the lines between reality and dream. That's why we call it as a realist play, right? And the play explores the idea that reality is not always as it seems, and that our perception of reality is shaped by our own experiences and perspectives, and our understanding of the world is limited by our own minds, and that the true nature of reality is not easy to understand. It's unknowable. And the other theme we call the search for meaning and purpose in life. Okay, kind of existentialist theme. This is okay. The play explores the idea that human beings are searching for meaning and purpose in their life, and the individuals are often caught between their own desires and the demands of society, and they are searching for a sense of purpose and fulfillment in their life. And power and authority, another theme, and it also explores the idea of power and authority and how it affects the individual and society. And it suggests that power is often corrupting and that those in power often abuse it for their own gain. And religion and science also a theme, and the play is a critique of the rigid dogmatism of both institutions and suggests that they are both limited in their ability to provide true understanding of the world and the human condition. And as I said, even there are characters who one one character is theology comes as a character, and medicine is representing science, and theology of course is, and then always there is a debate between these characters, and also there is philosophy. Okay, and there are in the, almost towards the end of the play we can see a huge debate going on between these three characters: religion, science, sorry, religion is theology, the character's name is theology, so theology, medicine, and uh, philosophy. So this can be seen, both, or all these are limited in their ability to provide a true understanding of the world and human condition. And the play also explores the idea that the search for meaning and understanding is a never ending process that is constantly evolving. It also explores the idea of nature of reality and human mind. Okay, and that's it. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.